in the studio is Albert Mann. Thank you so much for coming in.
No worries, thanks for having me.
So I've got you on because your latest single, Say Something Loving, came out earlier on this month, 2nd of February.
Yeah.
Absolutely beautiful song.
Thank you very
Is
much.
this the start of a new album? Because it's not on any of your old stuff, is it?
Yeah, it's the first time I've released a single as a single. Like usually I'm releasing an EP or I've released albums, but the first time I've actually released a single. So the idea this year was to release a series of singles rather than like an EP or an album, just to kind of get a lot of songs out there and kind of promote each song. Whereas sometimes if you release an album, then like 8 of the songs kind of just don't really get much attention because you promote a couple of singles, maybe 3 singles. So that was the plan, but plans change, and I'm already thinking maybe I'll release an EP now. So
are you preferring the EP side?
Yeah, I don't know. Yes, so we'll see.
I swear that seems to be the thing, people releasing singles now more often than albums because of basically the short attention span of us listeners.
Well, that's how people consume now, isn't it, really? I think, especially with Spotify, it seems that people are listening to music on playlists rather than albums. So that's the kind of the way unsigned and any artist wants to just get on big playlists now on Spotify. So it's not like you're surrounded by your own body of work, you're surrounded by other similar artists and
I
stuff.
thought you were unsigned, so because you've been going since about 2015, your first EP
2014, but the first EP was 2015.
2015.
Yeah,
and you've been unsigned this whole time. How do you get your music out there?
It's just, I mean, I think in this day and age you can do it yourself like quite easily as well, like with there's so much help online and obviously all the social media that you have, and the fact that you can do digital distribution yourself, it's like you pay either a fee or you kind of give some of your royalties away when with certain distribution companies. So that's just, it's quite easy to get your music out there really, and obviously doing videos, you can do your own videos and DIY videos and stuff like that.
I was going to say, because I've seen a few of your videos and I think I saw that you were credited on them, and I was thinking, okay, so this guy so you write your music, do you produce your own stuff as well?
Don't produce, no. I mean, I do demos, and usually the demos then would go to a producer and we'd kind of work together.
See, I thought you did it all, and I was like, and you do the videos as well? Like, how do you have time?
I can do video editing. Like, I struggle to kind of get the initial footage. Like, I'd need someone to record it or something like that. But the first video I ever did, I did record myself, but usually I'm kind of getting, like the Say Something Loving that I just released, that was illustrated by a friend of ours, and I kind of put the video together, so she just did like a series of little animations and a series of little drawings and things like that, and I kind of constructed the video from that. Yeah,
it's such a cute video as well, and again, such a lovely song. So tell us a bit more about the song. What inspired it? What's it about? Go for it.
Well, it's called Say Something Loving. The idea is that if you're in a relationship with somebody, sometimes if the time's gone by and like it's years down the line, you kind of forget to say the nice things to each other, and maybe as much as you did in the early days. So it's kind of, the idea is just to remember to say something loving to the person you're with.
Oh, that's lovely. And you released it just before Valentine's Day as well. So.
Yeah, unintentionally, but we can pretend that was all planned.
Are you? Did you celebrate Valentine's Day this year?
I don't really celebrate. We don't, because my wife's here in the studio as well. We don't really celebrate Valentine's Day, do we? I think we might have said Happy Valentine's, but other than that, we like to treat every day as Valentine's Day. That's
nicely done. Yeah, you got off it. I mean, I guess if you're writing songs about saying I love you all the time, I think you probably got it. Probably got it sorted. I was listening to some of your older stuff. So your first EP came out 2015. Just listening to kind of, I guess, your style, and I feel like, although your style has definitely evolved, you're still quite consistent in your genre. It's not like you've suddenly jumped on the kind of EDM bandwagon.
Yeah, I mean, I think the songwriting's definitely changed, and I think the way I'm writing songs and the production I'm doing on songs are definitely different from in 2015. But like you say, the genre's definitely still the same. Actually, Say Something Loving's been remixed by someone at the moment, so I kind of just give it the guy, and he's going to do his own thing. So maybe it'll be an EDM track. Who knows? I don't even know what's going to come back, but I'm quite looking forward to that because it's the first song I've had that's actually had the remix treatment. So that'll be interesting.
Amazing.
But yeah, definitely. I think any songs that I'm going to do for the rest of this year, I think I'm going to try and keep them a bit more acoustic and kind of strip back maybe a little bit, and a bit more like acoustic instruments, like get live pianos and strings and things.
You're a pianist, aren't you?
Yeah.
And guitar as well?
I can play guitar, but
I'd seen you on guitar.
Yeah, I'm not very good, so I don't play it live. I'd love to be able to like switch between the two, just because in a live gig, sometimes half an hour, it's nice to kind of mix it up a bit for the audience. But I'm not too comfortable doing that. I don't put the hours in practicing the guitar, so I just stick with the piano unfortunately.
You perform on your own and with a band as well, don't you?
Yeah.
Which do you prefer?
I don't really. I think I don't prefer either really. It's just both different, but I enjoy them both. I think having a band is sometimes nice because you've got other people on stage with you that you can kind of interact with and kind of smile at and laugh at and joke with and talk to and like it's nice when you're rehearsing that you've kind of got that kind of camaraderie with people. But
how do you keep the energy up when it's just you?
I don't know really.
You're just that talented.
Yeah.
That's all it is. It's absolutely fine. One question I do want to ask. So how did you get into music in the first place? Because a lot of the guests we have on here, they're sort of like, oh, I wanted to be a singer since I was 3 years old.
Right.
Whereas it sounds like if you started around 2014,
you
weren't 3 years old.
No.
What is it that brought you into it in the first place?
I mean, I've always done it, but usually just at home. I was just writing songs at home, and it was more of a hobby. I wasn't really taking it serious as a career, and I certainly didn't class myself as a singer in any respect at all. Like I could sing songs to write a song, and that was it. And then I joined a band, and we did a few tours, and I was just a keyboard player. Started doing a bit of backing vocals, started getting more comfortable singing, then started doing my own project. So it was kind of an evolution, really. But yeah, I'm glad I've finally got out there and started doing stuff.
And we've made it all the way up to Say Something Loving Now, which I think is beautiful. The perfect kind of, I know you don't support Valentine's Day, but the perfect Valentine's Day song. And you told me a bit about what it was like. I also kind of want to know what your writing process is like when you go into this song.
Right.
And was it different from when you wrote your older stuff as well? Because I also feel like when I was listening to like your older albums, like Cheap Suit and things like that, you definitely had like a concept or an idea per song. I don't know if you had it for the whole album, but there was definitely like a solid theme there. Do you do that in all of your songs? Is it the same for your latest song as well?
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to write a story. I don't tend to write too much about self-experience, like my own experiences. So I just kind of like to jump on ideas that I hear, like on the train, or like hear if I watch a movie, or maybe other songs as well inspire me to kind of come up with ideas. Yeah, I think in the old days I used to write differently. Even wrote a blog post about how I wrote once, which was that I always wrote the lyrics first and then would write the music later, and like that was like religious for me. I'd always do that without fail. And then only recently, like as this song in particular, as well as some of the other new ones I've done, I'm mixing it up and doing it the other way around, where I'm kind of coming up with melodies and then having to like retrofit the lyrics in afterwards, or coming up with like dummy like words and stuff that don't really make sense, or maybe even using old songs and kind of using those as a basis and then changing the words later. So I'm kind of doing it a little bit differently. I think that this one as well, I actually wrote the lyrics when we were on holiday in Italy. It was like an off the grid holiday, no Wi-Fi, no phones, nothing like that. So I actually was writing the words. I'd already got the melody, so it was like that. I was actually writing the words when I was out there on a piece of paper, which was a novelty, because usually I'm always online doing it and doing it in like some notepad or something like that. So yeah, it's good to actually cross it out and kind of get a pen and think, how do you spell that word and stuff.
I always find it crazy when I speak to songwriters how they can 100% hear the whole song or hear the whole melody out of nowhere, out of thin air.
Yeah.
I get a bit jealous, I'm not gonna lie. Have you always been a songwriter of sorts?
Yeah, I mean,
because you said you blog as well. Do you still
blog?
Blog?
No, I wrote 2 blog posts. The idea was that I was going to start blogging, and I got 2 in, and then kind of found it was too much work. Well,
yeah, I mean, writing your own songs and blogging, and also you did a Live at St Pancras album. Did you put that together as well?
Yeah, that was basically the EP came out and we launched it at St Pancras, so the sound was recorded there, and I listened to it afterwards and was like, oh, that's half decent. It's
great. Yeah, it just reminded me very much of kind of like Ed Sheeran Live at the Bedford, where he kind of put it together and was like, well, I'm going to do it. And then he can say, I've played at the Bedford. And you definitely seem like that kind of go-getter kind of guy who's like, let's put this all together. This is my career. This is what I love.
Well, I might do it even for we launched this single at 1901 Arts Club in Waterloo, and again recorded it, and I've listened back to it, and I like it. So I think we'll release that as well at some point, or certainly release the videos and get it mixed nicely and stuff like that.
Awesome. So, you were nominated for Best Male at Unsigned Music Awards last year?
Best of British Unsigned Music Awards. So that was cool.
That must have been pretty amazing.
Yeah, it was really exciting. Yeah.
Did you perform as well?
No, it's like an online thing. It was I came third in the end, so I was quite pleased with that. Yeah.
Amazing. So you're obviously doing very well, of course. Yeah. Do you have another job as well as this?
At the moment, I'm just kind of trying to concentrate on this, and we'll
you're living the dream. Yeah. No, don't want to work in a bar anymore or anything like that. But what's like the worst job you've ever had?
I remember the first job I ever had was working in a bakery, but it was a factory, So
I was imagining like a more smaller, home run bakery.
No, it was more like cleaning out the pie trays afterwards and stuff like that. So it wasn't great.
Yes, very, very humbling indeed. Yeah. And now you're going on. So you have created the Music Makers Festival.
Yeah.
Just your own idea. You and your wife.
Yeah. So me and my wife.
As if you weren't busy enough, you've now decided to create a festival.
Yeah. So that was the first time was last year. We ran it in Clapham at Omnibus. I think the web address is musicmakersfestival.com. Still very 2017 centric at the moment. We've not updated it or anything. But yeah, we hope to do it this year certainly again. So,
what's the plans for the festival?
It'll be a similar theme to last year, which is basically showcasing unsigned music and musicians and singer-songwriters mainly. That's the idea. So people we've met, because I do a lot of gigs in London and elsewhere, so it's people we've actually met and become friends with, or we know their music, and they're the kind of people we want to get on the
Brilliant.
show.
Being an advocate for the unsigned music
Yeah.
here. That's amazing. Have you had a lot of help from other people in your musical journey as well? Because I know a lot of people here, some people who've come on the show have been part of artist management companies or worked with certain producers. What's your story on that side?
The help that we've got is just people that like running the live venues. Like you've got Tony Moore who kind of runs the Bedford, and he has always helped us get gigs and stuff like that. So there's just a lot of people out there, isn't there? And obviously my manager Manoja here helps me out a lot with getting gigs and stuff. So yeah.
You have picked a song that we're going to put on in a second. Dan Owen, is he one of your kind of influences at the moment?
Yeah, I really like his stuff. I like the production that he has on his songs, and I really like the other songs, his songwriting style and stuff. So it was Hideaway was the song that kind of I first heard of his, and Manoja she introduced me to that song and I thought it was great. So yeah.
I wanted to ask you about influences because I think I've read on your website maybe your website or maybe it was on the Unsigned Music Awards or something like that, they compared you kind of to Ben Folds. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Is he one of your kind of big influences as well?
It's not really an influence. It's like it's more someone who people compare me to. I think that and Elton John and Billy Joel, and it's just the piano thing, isn't it? So
it must be.
Basically, anyone who plays the piano, they have that connection in there. So I don't know if I do. I mean, obviously, I like Elton John songs, but I don't know if maybe some influences in there. I'm not sure.
I could kind of get the Ben Folds comparison a little bit, but I could also hear kind of like Kings of Leon, a bit more indie stuff than that, not just so strictly singer-songwriter.
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah.
What kind of things are you listening to at the moment?
It's funny. I was actually listening back to David Bowie's. I'm always a big Bowie fan, but I've not listened to his stuff for ages. So I thought, I'll have a listen to some of his stuff. So I was listening to Scary Monsters again recently, which has got Ashes to Ashes and Fashion on there, and they're great songs, great album. Like lots of songs that are lesser known, but still really, I think they're brilliant. So have
you always been a bit are you a bit of a music nerd like I am?
I think with some of the artists that I really like Bowie and stuff like that, and Talking Heads and
oh yes, I could actually hear Talking Heads slight influence because you're a bit more kind of quirky than a average singer-songwriter, I'd say.
Yeah, I think a lot of my older songs, particularly, like I used to cite Tim Minchin as an influence because I used to write like comedy songs a little bit more.
Was that a job, like something you did?
Oh no, just for fun. Just the songs that I wrote were a little bit more humorous, I think. So I'm trying to get away from that a little bit and trying to be a little bit more.
I don't know. I kind of want to hear those now. I bet they're hilarious. I love Tim Minchin. I think he's hilarious.
Yeah, I think I did one called Welcome Nerds, which was quite humorous lyrics. But,
I guess that is quite a niche market, unless you suddenly start doing stand-up. Do you want to do any stand-up comedy?
No.
Want to write Matilda the musical?
Oh, I'd love to, yeah. But...
Are you a stand-up fan?
Yeah, I like going to watch stand-up, definitely.
Yeah, fair play.
Yeah, I always trying to find, like the Bedford has stuff as well, doesn't it, on a Saturday, the Banana Cabaret and stuff.
Exactly, yeah. And also, like, I have to admit, I do watch a few on Netflix. I've been devouring the Dave Chappelle Netflix now. Right. I don't know.
Yeah, we like the Seinfeld. There's a lot of Seinfeld stuff on Netflix, like was it Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee? I like that show.
Yes, I think that show is brilliant, yeah. Anyway, thank you so much for coming on the show,
No worries.
Albert Mann.
Thanks for having me.
Before you go, of course, where can everyone find you?
Well, my website is albertmann.com. That's man with one N. And the new single, you can find out about that at albertmann.com/SSL.
Wandsworth Radio.